Hello and welcome back to this series where we are exploring Bazel as a beginner, as a complete beginner. So, yesterday I did a video where I was just showing you how to have a very basic program called Hello World and how do you define. So, basically, we had included these definitions earlier, and then how do you define your build.bazel file to just build your project basically. And so today we would expand on this CC library rule that we have, and today I'll show you how do you add two different libraries within one binary. So for example, in this case our binary is the main.cpp file, and here we would add another library. So for example, let's say I want to add two numbers. So first of all, we will print out a hello message, and then we will ask the user to input two numbers, and then we would add them. So we will do this quite quickly. I would add another file here called add.hpp, and we'll just define this really quick. If in def add underscore hpp. So this is again a very simple C++ program. There is nothing too complex or too mind-boggling about it. So just we will just write a very simple program here. And I'm sorry for being too slow with the typing, but that's how it is. So let me just include these files, and I don't think I need anything more. So I'll just write int add to num, because we are trying to add two numbers, and then int a comma int b. We are adding two integers, nothing else. We don't want to do anything crazy here. And if I think that would be enough. We go to the source folder, and then we add another file called add.cpp, and now we will modify this. So we want to include the add.hpp file, and we want to give the function definition here. So again, add to num int a comma int b, and we'll just give these two things here. We'll say return a plus b. That's it. That's all this function is supposed to do. It's not supposed to do anything else. Head over to main.cpp file. We'll do things quite quickly here. Let me just declare two variables here, int a equal to 0 comma b equal to 0, and then after we have asked the user to enter their name, after they have said hello, we'll just say, let me copy this statement here. Oops. Enter two integers -n, and then C in A and B here. Let's not make it too complicated. Let's just keep it very simple, and we would do int sum is equal to add to num a comma b, and just write this cout. Sum of entered numbers a equal to a and b equal to b is \n is, and we'll just print the sum here, nothing funny. Okay, and we forgot something. We have to include the add.hpp file to our main folder, otherwise it will complain later. So again, a very simple program. We will just take two integers as input from the user, and we'll perform a very simple addition and just print out the sum of two numbers. Now, how do we modify our build.bazel file to make sure that this program compiles? So, as discussed earlier, we have already defined a library for hello world. We will define a very similar library for add files as well. So I'll just copy this here, paste it here, and instead of hello world, now we would have add.hpp. So if I just do, instead of hello world, I go replace it with add.hpp. And where am I? Yeah, this should be replaced, this should be replaced, skip, this should be skipped. Did it replace that? Oh, no, 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 no. Probably not a good idea to do this. Maybe I'll just do this manually. So replace this, and so now we have defined another library called add. The source code is within the src folder called add.cpp. The header is within the include folder called add.hpp, and it includes the include folder. And again, this particular library is visible as public. Now we need to modify the definition of our binary as well, and we do that by adding another dependency here. So you see here that our binary main is dependent on the library hello world. We just add another dependency called add, as we have defined up here, and we save. And that is it. That is all that you have to do, and you don't need to do anything else. You have just added another library. If we want to run this, so we will just do Bazel run and write hello main, and this should run. So if I enter a first name, for example, let's say I enter Alex, and then it prints out congratulations Alex, ran successfully. and then it asks me to enter two integers. So for example, I enter first integer as 3, second integer as 9, for example. As you can see here, that sum of entered numbers a equal to 3 and b equal to 9 is 12. So now, why did I want to cover this addition of a new library separately is because now that we have two different libraries here, for example, add and hello world, and for example, I do some changes in my add library. For example, I make some changes in my add.cpp. Let's say I write an elaborate function or something like that, and there are no changes in hello world.cpp. So when I try to run my executable again, the library called add is the only library that has to be compiled. So Bazel already tracks that if I have made change in hello world or not, and since I have not made any changes in hello world, it will not compile hello world separately. So this is the advantage of using Bazel, that only that part of the project would be compiled where you have made some changes, and then you don't need to compile everything else in a different manner, or you don't need to compile everything else again, right? So that is an advantage here, and I would just beautify things a little bit, maybe, add some space here and add another space here, and yeah, just for making things a bit beautiful, I would do clear and run it again, so that we have like a beautiful output, because I like seeing things in a good manner. For example, again we enter 3, this time we enter 2. So oops, my mistake, it should not have been here. Let's say I will remove this character. I will save this. So if I run it again, enter your first name, let's say Alex. Congratulations, Alex, ran successfully. Enter two integers, 3, 2. Sum of entered numbers a equal to 3 and b equal to 2 is 5. So things are working quite good, and I just showed you how to add another library within an executable, and this way you can keep adding more and more libraries, as many libraries as you want. You just need to define a library and add it to your binary, and you can also have like multiple binaries there. You can just compile whichever binary you need to using the Bazel command here. So this way Bazel is extremely easy to work with, and in the next video I would try to show how do you include a test file into your repository. So for example, let's say if you want to write unit tests for your code, or if you want to write some other kind of tests, how do you do that? So thank you. If you have watched the video up to this far, please let me know your suggestions. If you would like to see something else, or if you would like to focus on something else, if you have any comments, any other suggestions, maybe, please let me know about it. Thank you so much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.